not sure who needs to hear this, but if your relationship is making you miserable, you can leave.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will see several single mothers, one of whom says she is bothered by her ex-husband's success. Another woman used her children and her ex-husband to make a viral video victimizing herself to get money, claiming to be a single mother with terminal cancer abandoned by her patriarchal white ex-husband. We want to invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Share your experience in the comments for any man who might need it. And without further introduction, let's get started.
Watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing, but it's really triggering for me because I walked away with literally having to start over after 12 years of starting over, of wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head with my boys and not being able to just go out and play in our backyard like we used to, and wondering if I'm going to be able to feed them.
The problem that I have with this is that when you decide to no longer be in a relationship with somebody, they do not owe you for their successes from the time that you stopped being with them on. Outside of what they owe you for potentially justified alimony and child support, you cannot get mad that that man is successful without you because you're not his future, so he does not owe you the future rewards.
Now understand when I say that the only one who gets married for love on the wedding day is the man, while the woman does it for a lifestyle. This woman doesn't miss her old relationship. She misses the quality of life she had with this man, where she didn't have to work because he took care of everything. This is something that happens to many women who get divorced. Many end up with half of the man's money, the children, child support, and unfortunately, some even get alimony and the house. In this case, it seems she couldn't get the house, and we can infer that the ex-husband was destroyed in the divorce. That's why it's a trigger for her to see that even after being destroyed, the ex-husband managed to rise again. Women in divorce often forget that we men are mostly used to going through life in hard mode. So, even when difficulties come, we accept them with our heads held high and don't go around complaining. We get back on our feet. Women waste the money they take from the man. Like this woman who probably squandered it all. Now she's struggling, playing the victim card, claiming that she had it worse, when we know that in 90% of divorces, the man is always the most affected.
So you're telling me a super popular viral creator on this app faked having cancer and none of you care? It all started with this video of a woman crying while making herself her own birthday cupcakes because being a single mom is hard, and that ended up being very relatable to about 60 million other single parents. But the context of all this changed when her ex-husband Andrew stitched the video, revealing that not only did Elizabeth have zero custody of her children, owe $20,000 in child support, but also that she faked having stage 4 lymphoma cancer and even started a fraudulent GoFundMe to raise money for a fake liver transplant. And Andrew actually made an entire page about Elizabeth's horrifying criminal history called Inventing Elizabeth, an homage to the Netflix documentary Inventing Anna, which is all about a girl who fakes wealth and fame so that she can fit in with New York's most affluent elite echelon of society. And obviously Andrew noticed a few parallels. In response to this, the ex-wife Elizabeth responded, saying that while she's not a perfect person, Andrew isn't either, and brought up some DV injunctions from his past as well as a separate restraining order against him. She also claims that the only reason she doesn't have custody of her kids is because he pressured her into signing her rights away. No one would ever believe a man if he was like, the only reason I don't have custody of my kids is because she made me sign my rights away. And if a man owed $20,000 in child support, he'd be in jail. She also just straight up never addresses the whole faking cancer thing. Andrew says the DV injunctions never went through and that Elizabeth just straight up abandoned the family. This whole back and forth of accusations between the two lasted about 3 days before they both just scrubbed their pages of all of the content about it and left up ominous text posts implying that they're both in fear for their lives. And as of right now, Elizabeth is seeing overwhelming support on her side, with people either not believing that she faked cancer despite the overwhelming evidence or not caring. And personally, I completely understand why Andrew is still angry with Elizabeth and wants the world to know what she's done. But it begs the question, how much of your life do you dedicate to seeing that justice? If you knew someone had lied about something as malicious as faking cancer, you'd probably want people to know, but how far would you take it before giving up? Or would you ever give up? No doubt Elizabeth's actions will and should haunt her for the rest of her life, but I don't know if it's Andrew's job to make sure that happens. Still, this woman faked having stage 4 lymphoma cancer, faked getting a liver transplant, and accepted donations for fake treatment, but we're all supposed to just move on because people make mistakes? Not like this, they don't. I don't know a single person in my real life who has ever faked cancer, and if they did, she would probably be known as the girl who faked having cancer. I do think that Andrew should step back and focus on finding peace in his own life, but he got one thing right. You guys are not supporting a struggling single mother. You are enabling and platforming a vile, twisted, sick criminal who will go on to ruin more people's lives. Pick better heroes.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
This woman deserves a beer. Women today are so Machiavellian that they even use a delicate medical condition to achieve their goal of getting money because they don't want to work. I'm sure she got a large sum because both simps and feminists will see in that video the bad man who abandoned his sick wife with her children. Trust me, this sells. But even if her ex-husband comes out to debunk her with solid proof, this man is branded a liar trying to harm her because in this country, a man, even with evidence, is still guilty. $20,000 in unpaid child support, but of course, she's a woman, so she won't be pursued. She invents an entire persona to get donations, then plays the victim saying her ex-husband is no better than her. But of course, the restraining orders go both ways. There's a reason the court gave custody to your ex-husband. Above all, no one can tell me that a woman who goes on camera to say she has a terminal illness to raise money with such a delicate issue is in her right mind. Just by seeing what she owes in child support, we realize how this system is flawed and biased in favor of women. If it had been a man who did what she did, he would be in jail facing prosecution today. But since it's a woman, nothing happens. You're a heroine of single mothers abused by the patriarchal white man.
Oh my God, yes! Oh my God, I'm officially divorced! Yes!
Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
Shake me. Oh my God! I'm your brother.
Bruh.
I'm officially primary custodian of the kids.
A few moments later.
What about the child support? That's it? Tony, that's crazy. Why? Are you kidding me? Now all of this financial burden with my children is on me?
What a shame.
This is not fair.
When a man shows you who he is, you have to believe him. When anybody shows you who they are, you have to believe them.
Like he doesn't have to pay nothing of it?
Wait, what?
Nothing? This is up.
Gentlemen, learn your partner before you jump ahead and fall in love with the words and all of that stuff that make up this fairy tale. Because when no one's looking, that's when everything just...
She is right. When she wasn't looking, she realized she lost her alimony. How wonderful karma is. This is a fortune hunter who wasn't happy about having her children. She didn't care about that. She only had in mind that by having her children, she would either get child support or be closer to her true goal, which is alimony. Because the modern woman doesn't want to work, they see children, relationships, or intimacy as a way to get money. Because, of course, she married you, so you have to pay. It's very sad to see this. In this country, children don't always stay with the parent who would give them more love or take better care of them. You only have to go to family court, and as soon as they see you're the man, those children are already the mother's unless you have solid proof against her, like that she's unstable or something, or she renounces the children. Only then can they go with the father, which happens only 5% of the time because we all know that even when a man proves his innocence, he is still not innocent.
Watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing, but it's really triggering for me because I walked away.
Your choice.
Literally
Consequences.
having to start over after 12 years.
These women fail to understand is that these men are finally lifted from the shackles that is being tied down to someone that doesn't appreciate them, so they thrive. Basically, what happens with a lot of women is they actually start to believe that the men that they're with would never make it without them. Some women in relationships build up so much resentment that they can only look at their partners and think to themselves, this man would be absolutely helpless without me. But there is a vast majority of women that they will never admit this, but they don't want their ex back, but they also don't want to see them doing better than them. That's why you hear so many women like, oh, I went to go check his social media to see if he's still doing good or if he's doing better without me. And 9 times out of 10, women cannot fathom the idea of men doing better without them. It's almost like their inflated ego just simply won't allow it. I think one of the biggest mistakes that women make is they are under the assumption that they're almost going to have like an open relationship after divorce or separation with their ex, where they're close friends, they're still talking every day, maybe they're swapping stories about their dating lives. And the reality is that once they both move on, that relationship is going to shift. And a lot of women expect these men to still be their safety nets. And when these men have opted out because they've moved on, they're doing great, they're doing better, the women cannot handle it. And it's almost like some of these women want their cake and they want to eat it too. And they'll never admit that. They'll also never admit that they made a mistake by leaving in the first place, because they have been brainwashed into believing that divorce is cool, single motherhood is cool, being single is cool, and you're so free to do whatever you want. But sorry, you don't get wife treatment as the ex-wife. Okay, bye.
One of the most painful things in life is seeing how your decisions ruin your life. But women never admit this because responsibility is kryptonite for them. When a woman leaves a man, her idea is to make him suffer. Many will hypocritically say they want him to do well, but deep down, they don't want him to do better than them. That's why it hurts to see that man rise up and, even better, find a younger and more beautiful woman. It's like driving a stake into Dracula's heart. All women want to have simps in the friend zone. It's like saying, I'm divorced, but whenever I have a problem, I'll call my ex-husband. This happens a lot because, unfortunately, men who are providers always want to be there for their children. The woman knows this and starts the blackmail, especially when it's joint custody. Besides taking care of the kids, you have to send money to the mother, which ironically is never enough for the child. Even when the woman sees the man with another woman and hasn't been able to find a new man, she will want to start trying to fix the relationship. This is because her simp is about to leave with all the benefits to the new woman. Since she doesn't have another safety net, she starts making life difficult for the new woman, even involving the children. Men with ex-wives, let me know your experience with your ex in the comments.
Okay, this whole inventing Elizabeth has me in a chokehold. So if you're not aware, just quick little lowdown, there was a woman who went viral. Her name was Elizabeth, and she was like baking for herself, made a video, and she was crying because she's a single mom and she had to make like that cake for herself. Got millions and millions of views, and then her ex, Andrew Bandrew, came up to bat and was like, oh my God, she's lying. I have full custody of the kids. She's a psychopath. Like, I mean, making like all of these outrageous claims, saying how like terrible she is as a woman, as a mom. Was like, she's fooling all of you guys. His account is literally called Inventing Elizabeth, which kind of should start telling you something. He created it in 2022, and his whole account is like to take her down. But people are like on his side and they're like, oh my God, what a lol. He brought some receipts that didn't look valid, but she like brought some receipts. And when I tell you this woman is a victim of narcissistic abuse, holy crap. And then people are like, oh my God, well, if the court says one thing, it must be true. First of all, we don't even know what these documents are true or not. And he has a shit ton of money, okay? And she was like a stay-at-home mom, so when she left, she like doesn't have anything. Okay, textbook abuse of like, okay, well, I'm going to win in court because I'm sorry, guys. If you have money, you're going to win in court. That's how it works. Or if you say outrageous claims and then they have to look into it and it's an investigation forever. And it's even if it's not true, that's abuse. Okay. Like this man has dedicated websites to the mother of his children, which she does have, and makes like happy, cute videos. But his whole time is spent trying to destroy her and take her down. And that, my friends, is abuse. And that, my friends, is why people have such a hard time leaving their abuser, because years of mental and emotional torture comes to follow.
Oh my God!
They tell the story in a way that suits them best, not mentioning the part where she fakes terminal cancer to get donations when she doesn't have cancer. Of course, she's a psychopath. If a man is given custody of all his children, with the woman being a housewife, who is really the narcissist here? But she also forgets to say that she started all this by making a video crying, claiming she is a single mother with nothing, abandoned by her ex-husband with her children and a terminal illness. It's fine when a woman speaks badly about her husband, but not when the ex-husband comes out to debunk her whole act. She makes money by defaming him, and that's okay, but it's wrong for him to ruin her victimhood business. That's why men progress and do better when they leave their toxic ex-wives, because when you get rid of that woman who only brought chaos into your life, except for the children, it's like clearing away what Christians call the enemy. You have just rebuked the devil. When you focus on moving forward without that dark cloud overhead, that's when the money comes in. Brother, never let a woman ruin your image like that woman tried to do because, as I said, every story has two sides. Tell yours too. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think of the single mother who lied to get donations? Share the craziest story your ex-wife ever did in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.